Hi, I'm Joe Murphy. I'm an editor of Compliance and Ethics, Ideas and Answers. I'd like to talk with you today about a really interesting book that just came out. It's written by one of my co-editors, Adam Balfour. And the book is Ethics and Compliance for Humans. It's a good collection of really interesting ideas. And I thought I would focus on one particular area that he covers very nicely. It's also a strong area of interest for me. And that's the coverage of incentives. And there's a lot of controversy about this. It's an area where companies tend still to be lagging behind and treating incentives as if that was just something that, some exotic element that you could add in later on. When in fact, coverage of incentives is a core element in an effective compliance program. So one of the interesting things that Adam covers is setting compliance objectives for managers. That is, if you're going to evaluate your managers, you have compliance steps that they're measured on. And one of these I thought was very interesting, that each manager would have as an objective during, let's say, once a week, asking an employee what they've seen that might cause them concerns. And it's interesting because it ties in with a point about interacting with employees, that they may not call you and report a problem, but if you ask them, they won't lie either. They'll tell you. And so having this as part of the incentive system and the evaluation shows a very good point. If you want people to do things, you can harangue them, you can send them messages, but if you really want results, you put it into the incentive system. And I particularly like this idea of measuring managers on asking their people what concerns they might have. There's another really intriguing idea he had, and that is you might have an incentive system for employees where they earn points that can be used for merchandise. And one thing he suggests is that the employees get points every time a boss, a manager, an officer talks with them about compliance and ethics issues, or maybe the compliance and ethics tip of the week. And I thought that really creates an intriguing dynamic where the subordinates are actually the ones influencing the people higher up. But I think you'll find in Adam's book a number of ideas like this where you could either take that idea and run with it, or his idea might inspire you to do something that would work even better in your company. One other point I should say about any and all incentive systems. Incentives are powerful and they work, but there's always the risk that over time people will game any incentive system. So you also should be attentive in following up and measuring to see how well it's working. So I'd like to thank Adam for this book and providing us with these interesting ideas that we can use to help make our programs more oriented toward what works for humans.